We want to get that feedback. But I was sitting there thinking about that myself, and there was two things that really stood out for me that maybe some people didn't notice, but I thought it was really unique opportunity to see how trainers work together. One of them was Travis, you helping Jessica with her dopamine class. So Travis and Jessica had never worked together. They've never collaborated really together before. And she was giving her seminar on dopamine box. Travis came in with one of his dogs to demonstrate how to use it. And it was so amazing to watch him demonstrate how to use the dopamine box exactly how she was teaching it. And that fundamental knowledge is so cool to see. It was so fun to watch.
Well, and that's what we want for other trainers as well. Like, you get to a point where, just like with Jessica, or I actually went and saw Brian yesterday. I spent the whole day with his club, or Mitch. Like, you get together and it's like this like vibration, it's this energy, it's like a synergy where you just know like we're on the same wavelength, where it's almost non-verbal. Like, just walking into Jessica's class, like, I didn't hear a single word that she said. I'd never worked with Dave's dog that day, and you can just feel it. You just know, like, this guy knows how to communicate with animals. This guy is a proficient trainer, proficient handler. And when you get along that training journey, you run into more and more people like that.
Hey everybody, so welcome to the podcast, Automation Dogs. I'm 𝙇𝙤𝙖𝙣𝙚 and Sam Givens joining us again. We were just together in Ohio at the Professional Canine Development Conference 2020.
Hey, it's good to see you again. Welcome home.
Good. Thanks, good to see you. And one of the main speakers, Travis Lloyd, is also joining us, and he is from Ridgeside Canine, and you'll have to help me with that last part.
𝙤𝙤𝙖𝙣𝙚.
It's fun to say, 𝙤𝙤𝙖𝙗𝙤𝙗𝙤. It is fun to say.
𝙤𝙤𝙖𝙗𝙤. I call it 𝙤𝙤𝙗𝙤𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗 Is that from your area in Ohio? Yep, that's the farthest northeast county in Ohio. We lie right on the Pennsylvania border. It's a Native American name that means river of many fish, because we're right on Lake Erie, and the river right down here, we have the Gulf. So, yeah.
𝙤𝙤𝙖𝙗𝙤𝙗𝙤𝙗. Awesome.
𝙤𝙤𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗, yeah.
I just wanted to start by thanking you, Sam. The conference was outstanding. I especially enjoyed how intimate, how personal it was. Everybody was able to meet each other and talk, and I felt like everybody was in a very supportive mindset. But mostly you have created something to help and to serve, and from your background in police and military, I'm sure that's just natural for you. And it really stood out when there was a young couple who has a background in business, and they were speaking. I can't remember. I feel like it was in Justin Rigney's keynote, and they were interacting then. And they were saying, I don't feel like I have a lot of support learning the dog training side, and that's what I'm here for. And it was like, wow, that was very impactful, that this conference was serving its great purpose to help dog trainers.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that was one of the big things to get together. We collaborate with Travis, Mitch Christensen, Brian Dell. We have a group that we collaborate with for different things. And it's always on that sporting dogs, working dog stuff. I've been fortunate enough to have phone a friend. So if I'm doing a pet owner training and I run into something I haven't seen or can't figure out, I have somebody to call. It's funny how the pet owner or the pet trainer industry, everything's kind of a secret. They don't like to share that information and knowledge. And I really think that that's what this conference was geared towards, is not only our speakers collaborating with each other and sharing their knowledge, but helping to connect them through that network so that they have a phone a friend when they need it. And Travis, you had classrooms that were really full, and I had great feedback on, you just personally talking to people and helping them. What was your experience with it?
Man, it was amazing. Honestly, I was so humbled that my rooms were that full. I still don't know how I got here and why anybody is interested in what I have to say, but I'm happy to share it. I've always been an open book with the information that I've learned, and I'm very transparent how I train, and I'm just so thankful everybody was there and really interested in it. I thought it was amazing. Super grateful for the opportunity to speak in front of my peers.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things, and both of you got an opportunity to see a lot of different classrooms. It was a little hard for me to get around to see everybody. Listening to that collaboration with the speakers and a lot of our young trainers, and just hearing that interaction, those great questions that we were getting coming through. Now, I had the privilege of having Leanne teach a class with me on business practices and best practices. And I was just floored at the great questions we got out of that, and some of the stuff that I actually learned from attendees who shared their knowledge. It's like, wow, that's a great point. I'm going to take that back and incorporate it. And I think as we move this conference forward, it's going to be that kind of that same thing. Train that trainer, right, and grow that industry. I think that we're just lacking knowledge at that inexperienced level.
Yeah, Travis, you just said something that stood out to me about maybe some folks out there don't know my story. And I would like to use our podcast here to maybe schedule another time where we can get your story and have you share so that others can learn from your journey, and also help to maybe promote the conference for next year so people have that personal relationship, even though it's kind of one-sided because you're listening to a podcast, but you already feel connected and have that relationship with some of our speakers.
Yeah, I would love to do that. It's I've had to make a lot of left turns that I'm hoping to, prevent the next generation, the new and upcomers from making. I feel like a lot of the senior trainers, and it's funny that to even say senior trainer, like in some circles, maybe I'm that to somebody and I still can't really fathom that, because in the circle of talent that I'm in, I am a small fish swimming in a big pond, a pool of talent, and I still feel very much like a freshman myself. But it really doesn't matter where we're at on this journey. We're always on the journey. It's never ending. The information and knowledge that you can gain is infinite. And I'm just, again, so grateful that I was able to meet people that I could learn from, that I could help others. And I really appreciate you, Sam, for the friendship and networking abilities, and you for putting this amazing conference on.
I appreciate those words, but Travis, you just hit on something that I think is huge, is that continuation of our journey, right? When we started, all of us start at a level where it's like, I don't know what I don't know. And finding that mentor or those conferences to go to where you can gain that knowledge is critical. I know every day when I talk to a different trainer, regardless of where they're at in their journey, I can pick up a golden nugget to go, wow, that's insightful. I need to keep that. And I think that was one of the things that was humbling for me, Travis, as well, as being there listening to Justin Rigney, who, I've watched all of his material, and listening to the questions that he was answering and the passion that he has for the industry, and seeing that firsthand was incredible for me. And then watching the next day when each one of our speakers got into their rooms and started teaching, it was that same drive, that same passion. And you don't always get that. And I thought that was just the most humbling thing in the world to see, is all these high level trainers who I admire and have the utmost respect for, watching them break that information down and share it in such a way that they could, truly bond with the attendees. Because there was friendships formed throughout this whole thing, which is what I think is just as important as anything, is developing that friendship and mentorship, and then having that bond grow as they grow through their journey.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It was
go ahead, Travis.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to touch on Justin Rigney. I have met Justin. He's a client of ours. And when he signed on, I was actually in Sevierville, Tennessee. He lives in Knoxville. And I'm like, he's kind of challenged with the tech stuff. So I'll come up, we'll meet, be cool to meet him. He is just such a wonderful person, very helpful, very kind. But this was the first time I got to see Justin actually speak in person. We work with his content. As you saw, he put the video camera up and he's recording all the time his content. And then his VA, our team, we're putting together his seminars so that folks can actually like purchase his online content. But this was really cool. My first time seeing him speak in person. And you're right, Sam. He's just like so passionate about it.
Absolutely.
Exactly what I was starting to say. Like, I've been to 4 of his seminars personally. The first time I met him, he was like very humble, very nice. You know, Justin talks the way he talks, but I would say no, he is an open book of information.
Yeah.
People, maybe they see it and maybe they don't, but he gives so much back to the culture. Everything that he puts out online, I don't miss very many of his videos or like
Absolutely not.
dissect them. I have his stuff from DIY as well. Like, I'm forever a student. Like, Justin, and not to like kiss his ass or anything, but he is like the new generation's Michael Ellis to a lot of people, or something along those lines. Like, he is definitely like on my Mount Rushmore of teachers. Like, if I'm talking about who I want to go spend time with and learn with, there's not a whole lot of people that I would pass by to go, spend a couple weeks with him.
No, absolutely. And I was thinking about this as one of the things that I think we put out a question on our social media. What did you take most out of the conference, right? 'Cause we want to get that feedback. But I was sitting there thinking about that myself, and there was 2 things that really stood out for me that maybe some people didn't notice, but I thought it was really a unique opportunity to see how trainers work together. One of them was Travis, you helping Jessica with her dopamine class. So Travis and Jessica had never worked together. They've never collaborated really together before. And she was giving her seminar on dopamine box. Travis came in with one of his dogs to demonstrate how to use it. And it was so amazing to watch him demonstrate how to use the dopamine box exactly how she was teaching it. And that fundamental knowledge is so cool to see. And then the other thing that really stood out for me was it was Mitch Christensen's class for decoying. We had a lot of requests on, just could you show us how this actually works? And Travis, Brian Dell, Nick Driscoll, and Mitch, all 4 of them got together on the fly. We took a little time out, huddled, and on the fly they came up with a way to open up the big classroom and demonstrate how to decoy. And as far as I know, the 4 of them have never really worked together. But watching that collaboration, that knowledge, real-time flow, I mean, that's a humbling thing to me. In those demos, they got people in bite suits that had never been in a bite suit. It was so fun to watch. It was the highlight of Sunday at the end of the day. And the 4 of them working together put on just an incredible show for everybody. So kudos to the 4 of you guys for being able to do that on the fly, because that is something you just don't see every day.
Well, and that's what we want for other trainers as well. Like, you get to a point where, just like with Jessica, or I actually went and saw Brian yesterday. I spent the whole day with his club, or Mitch. Like, you get together and it's like this like vibration, it's this energy, it's like a synergy where you just know like we're on the same wavelength, where it's almost nonverbal. Like, just walking into Jessica's class, like, and I didn't hear a word that she said. I didn't hear a single word that she said. I'd never worked with Dave's dog that day. And you can just
Mm-hmm.
feel it. You just know, like, this guy knows how to communicate with animals. This guy is a proficient trainer, proficient handler. And when you get along that training journey, you run into more and more and more people like that, where so much so that you just get a feeling before you even start working together. And that is truly a beautiful thing. That is like one of the most magical things in dog training that, I think as you get more experience that you get to experience more often. And I think that's that every trainer should have that.
I just
Yeah,
want
and I
to.
think that's no. Go ahead, Leah, please.
No, go ahead, Sam, because I was going to shift to a different part of conversation. So go ahead and finish that.
No, I just want to share with the both of you and your listeners that after each day after the conference, I would try to meet with a different group of people. And Travis, what you said really came through with talking to these newer trainers, and some of them who were just starting to get introduced into the sporting world of either Mondio or PSA, and they were so excited that there was trainers who train sport dogs, working dogs, but they were humble enough to understand that we're going to train pets the same way. We can take those same skills and that same knowledge and transfer it to a pet. There's no secret sauce. You know what I mean? And they were so excited to see that and how that worked.
Vice versa. Pet
Yeah, exactly.
trainers, yep. Police that train pets are better police trainers, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Sport trainers that train pets are better pet trainers. It goes both ways.
Absolutely. And trying to get them to understand that knowledge. And I think that this conference really opened them up to that thing that, oh, I do know more than what I thought, because this concept bleeds over to these other areas. Because one of the things that feedback that we had on one of the things was 3 different people said that the conference made them hopeful or gave them hope for their future because they were getting stagnant and just, it's hard. It's a hard industry. And when you start hitting roadblocks, you need somebody like our speakers to, recharge your batteries, I guess, for lack of a better word. So sorry about that, Leon. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I just wanted to shift a little bit to Sam, when you came, like what brought this idea up for you? I know you're a creative, entrepreneurial personality. Just maybe share a little bit about why you are trying to help trainers. What happened in your journey as a trainer that's helped you to land on this and then create this great conference?
Sure. And I think on the first podcast when Justin was on with me, I kind of shared with him privately that I started back in the late 80s, early 90s, training hunting dogs and stuff for myself and for other people. And my journey was really a roller coaster ride because I didn't have these great mentors. Anybody who had that knowledge didn't want to share it because they were always afraid of competition. It's like, I have a secret. I'm not going to tell my secret. So a lot of the things that I learned over time was from reading a book, watching a VHS tape, because, we didn't have computers back in the 80s and 90s to be able to Google and look this stuff up. As I progressed in my dog training world, I got involved with some really good trainers. And obviously, Tom Cronowit, our company owner, is a canine handler, amazing trainer. He's always looking for that innovation. What's the next thing in the world of training? And we talk about that within our own group. And then we talk to people like Travis, Mitch Christensen, when we're at events with them. We talk to each other and talk about, what are you doing? Are you using this technique? Or you've seen this technique. How have you modified it to get something better for yourself? So this has been a passion, not only for me, but for professional canine in general, is that we want the next level of trainers coming up to have that ability to have good mentors. Nothing has to be a secret. Travis will tell you the exact same thing. Even in Nashville, there's so many dogs. Not all of them get trained if I wanted to. We need to share that wealth, and we need quality trainers to be able to do that. So to me, this conference was about networking, getting young trainers or anybody that's getting new. I say young trainers, not age-wise, but just new trainers coming into the industry to understand the business, the marketing, the branding, how to build your business, because that's something that gets overlooked as dog trainers. We go out, we train a pet, but we forget that we need a website. We forget that we need a branded shirt. We forget that we need social media, podcasts. That all gets overlooked because we're so focused on training the dogs. So that's kind of my passion within the conference. Then we have all these amazing trainers like Travis and Jessica and Thomas and Brian Dell, Justin, Nick Driscoll come in. Kay Smith, I don't know if you caught any of her stuff with energy work for canines. It was absolutely amazing watching her take a dog and just using energy from her to soothe that dog and to get him to calm down. It was amazing to watch. was something not everybody's exposed to. So the idea with this conference is how do we get everybody exposed to all these different things, help them to network, and get them to understand that we're not in competition with each other. We might service the same area. We might be in the same world, but we're not really in competition with each other. Travis and I can collaborate on projects and share contacts all day long because it's not a competition. And the sooner people understand that, the faster their businesses grow because they're helping each other develop that growth.
Mm.
So that's kind of where my passion for this whole project has come from.
Excellent. And Travis, can you share something, because you've been in training for a while, could you share something that if you were going to start over again, something that you might do differently to pass on to a newer trainer?
I would have probably stayed smaller at first, right? I would have probably stayed training out of some roughlings in my house and slowly grew, where I took my life savings and I threw it into a facility, a property. Like this place grew so fast. I bought this place in 2021. It's I'm not arrogant or putting myself on a pedestal, but it's beautiful. Like I have a very high standard, very good eye for detail, and I just dumped everything into this place. And a lot of the infrastructure wasn't done right. I had this property, I had kennels, I had some fundamental foundational training knowledge, but I didn't have any entrepreneurial leadership or guidance or knowledge whatsoever. I didn't take the time to put my security cameras in or build a website or get social media help. I didn't have any of those things. I I was a caveman. I came out of Afghanistan and dove into this. And I had been burned by a couple of trainers too. So I would say start slow and grow into your business. Don't outgrow it. Take your time. You can still do high quality training out of your house. Very high quality training. People love the personal touch of, I treat your dog just like mine. They come into my house. I spend time with them. I take them everywhere. You can still build great content through doing that. Real life training in the house. Take the dogs to parks. You don't need a big fancy facility at first. You really don't.
No.
Focus on finding good mentorship, right? A good mentor is super important. You should be screening the people that you want to learn from. You should. You should be screening them. Don't just dive under any trainer because they have a business and they've trained some dogs. Like, find the right person, right? Look at a trainer that you admire, not just somebody in your local area. A Justin Rigney, a Michael Ellis, Ivan, whoever it is for you, Dave Croyer. Those are the people that I look up to. I was lucky. I went through a couple of bad eggs. I mean, I learned pretty quickly. I'm very intuitive. I've been fooled a couple of times, but not many. But I was very lucky very quickly to find really, really good mentorship. And I think the sooner that you do that, the better that you will be. So start slow, right? You don't need a fancy education either. You don't need certificates and a school to go to. I think that stuff is great. I do. It's a great addition to your education, but it's not necessary. Like a good mentor, maybe with a sporting background, is the way to go. I believe. Like, find somebody that you like their training, you like their ethics, you like the way that they treat dogs. We talked about the book, The Talent Code. Look for that master coach. I have two of them, Todd Dunlap and Sean Edwards. Those guys, and now Eric Stanbro. Eric Stanbro is very high on my list. Those three people have taken such an interest in my professional development. I would not be where I am. I would not know the people that I know. I would not have the business that I have. I wouldn't be the trainer that I am if it wasn't particularly for those three people. And I'm so glad that I found them early. So find somebody to mentor under. And, the way they gave back to me is the way that I want to give back to others too. Like, I don't gatekeep. You can have all my secrets. They're not mine. None of this was created today. Like, this has all been passed on and innovated. We're not creating the wheel. We're recreating the wheel. We're improving it, right? It's just such a great space to live in. I love dog training more than anything in my life. I've never been so passionate about anything. So sorry, that's a little tangent, but start small. Find a good mentor, right? There are good schools out there too. I'll drop a couple. Michael Ellis School, amazing, amazing school. Tar Heel Canine, amazing school. Highland, great schools.
Yes.
Or get into a good sporting club. Most sport trainers train pets too. The best ones train pets too. The difference between sport training and pet training, sport trainers are tier 1 trainers. It's awesome, right? But there's a big difference of having 2.5 years with a Ferrari, a Malinois, to get out on that field and title, right? There's a big difference of you saying, hey, look at my title. I have this dog that I did all this stuff with. Yeah, it took you 2.5 years and how many people and how much money? Go get Fluffy that isn't food motivated in a 4-week board and train that dog and see where you're at with your sporting ability. Find a good sport trainer that does both, has a pet training business and has is in sporting. Fabian Romo, I mean, amazing, amazing mentor out in Chicago. Like, man, if I could rewind the hands of time, that is the place I would have started, is found Chicago. But so those are just a couple of gems, like places you could start, ideas, finding good mentors. I think, all of those things I wish I started at the beginning, and build your infrastructure. Get your cameras, get your insurance, right? Make sure you're insured, start your LLC, get your bank started, learn about Google. Google's not difficult. Hit me up. There's a couple of behind the scenes things you can do that aren't difficult. I helped a guy at the conference. I just showed him a couple things in Google. I talked to him yesterday. He's like, my Google interactions have skyrocketed since you showed me that. Nobody ever showed me that. Big shout out to Aaron Taylor and the Ridgeside team too. If you're a veteran or a police officer, like, these are the guys you want to go to. Like, if it wasn't for Ridgeside Canine and the backing and the mentorship I have there, I wouldn't have any of this either. Those guys have done nothing but build me up and help me and be there for me. Those are the type of people you want to be around.
Sorry, Trevor, I almost cut you off. I wanted to jump in. You said something on going back and starting small or starting slow, right? I think that a lot of new trainers also have to understand it. Pick something to be good at. Don't try doing behavior modifications if you're in your first 4 months of training set, right? And I think that when we get into training, we automatically think that we're going to train every single type of training. I think it's really important that know our limitations, be honest about those limitations, get really good at what you're good at, really do that to a master level, and then move to the next thing.
Yeah.
And as you're moving on in that journey, find that mentor, like Travis says, to get you to the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. I think too often we throw too much out there just to see what we can do, and we don't master the basics and you get that foundation.
Another thing, like, you should be able to, wherever you're at in your journey, whatever you're doing, you should be able to articulate what you're doing. Know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're going to do it. And you should be able to tell somebody else that and not talk out of your ass. And you can do that at any stage that you're at. I promise you can. And you'll create great content, and you'll be respected by your peers, and your clients are going to be like, wow, this is amazing. Something as simple as luring a dog into a sit. Something as simple as telling them what a marker is. just slowly grow, because trust me, I have been there. What happens, you get out of school and you go from having no knowledge to knowing everything, right? Because you just got through 6 months of training and now, like, I'm a dog trainer, and you think you know everything. When your confidence is skyrocketed, but your abilities are still very low. And trust me, I've been there. I'm very good at self-evaluating. I've been there where I was saying things before at a place in my career where I look back and I'm like, man, you're a dumbass. You would have been doing much better if you just would have shut your mouth and stayed at the level you're at, right? And continued to learn. I would say, yeah, at any level you're at, just get good at one thing at a time, just like training a dog. One thing at a time. Change one small thing. Get good at that, be able to talk about it, know the ins and outs, and then move on to the next thing. There's nothing wrong. People love a journey. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a new trainer, guys. I just got out of Highland Canine. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to lure a dog into a sit. People love that. I have people that follow me. In 4 years, I went from literally never having social media, never having a non-government email, to having like 5,600 people on our Facebook page, which I didn't know anything about this stuff. People love the journey. I have people that tell me all the time, like, we've watched you from the beginning. And you can look back at the videos and the training I was doing back then and see what I'm doing now. And people love that. They love the struggle too. They love the wins and losses. Like, it's hard to open up and be like, it's hard to open up to an audience because today we're not just dog trainers, we're digital creators. And if you're not doing both, your business isn't going to do as well as somebody that is. And that's just the facts. So I think that that's a very important part of mentorship in this day and age as a dog trainer as well.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to share like some of the takeaways that I'm getting from each of you. So Sam, earlier you mentioned the phone a friend, and Travis, you've mentioned many times in this conversation, finding a mentor. And I think being a dog trainer entrepreneur, there's a fair amount of burnout, and there's nobody around us that really knows what it's like and what we're going through, trying to run and build this business. And we're in this journey, trying to figure it out, having a mentor, calling a friend. It's so critical because this is a very lonely place. My family doesn't understand what I do, uh, so going to this conference, I think networking with folks like you is going to be so valuable for us when we're dog training and we are hitting burnout. Reach out, call a friend, because I promise you, someone else that's at that conference that knows somebody who knows somebody, they've been through it, they've figured out how to come out of it, and they can help you. There's stuff that we aren't taught in dog trainer school, like what to do if something happens to a dog that's in our care. We call the owner, things like that. Call us, talk to us, because we've been there. We've had to call an owner because, hey, I just took this board and train dog in and I think he needs to go home because he doesn't look well. So we've all been there, and we've all had hard days. So I think it's good to immerse yourself in next year's conference to meet the folks that have been there and can help you, because we've already been through it, and you don't have to be in a lonely place as you're trying to build something amazing and something great.
Oh, absolutely. And I really want to put a plug in for next year's conference for 2026. Anybody that's interested, it is going to be in November. We're locking down the dates. It'll be in Columbus again, but it's going to be bigger and better. And we're starting to put that lineup of speakers together. Travis will be back. I'm not sure who the keynote speaker for next year will be. We're kind of open to suggestions on that. But some of the feedback that we got was a little bit longer seminar classes, a little bit more time for networking. We're going to add some more stuff in on Friday before the keynote speaker to kick it off a little bit earlier so that we can get a little bit more time in there. The big focus will still be around that train the trainer concept and bringing in all those different levels of experience to mentor and develop each other and to create that network. And one of the things I'm looking forward to, hopefully I can say this, Leanne, without getting myself or you in trouble, but we're really looking forward to working with Automation Dogs and having the conference powered by Automation Dogs. They're going to be working with us to really up our game for the social media, webinar. We got one of the biggest feedbacks that we had, and it's a negative feedback, but I take it as a positive, was so many people wanted to be able to go to every single class, but the way we have it structured, you kind of had to pick and choose. And that's by design because we want people to go to the class that they're truly passionate about. But next year, adding in that webinar ability where if you missed a class, you can reach out and get those webinars before you even leave the conference. And you can take that home with you. I think that's going to be huge. So I think it's going to be bigger, better. And if people have suggestions, hey, they have our email, they have our social media. Reach out to us, give us suggestions. We're more than happy to grow and develop as we go.
Yeah, I'm excited about helping to video everything that's going on in the rooms. And then my team will put it up as a course so that folks can make sure they didn't miss anything. And I would like to offer too, because I love doing these podcasts and it's so powerful when folks share their stories, is I'm going to go through all of the speakers that just spoke at the 2025 conference, and I'm going to get them on my podcast so that everybody can hear their story, their journey, and learn from them. And then I would like to offer everybody that did attend this year, I would offer to do a podcast with you. Maybe you're a brand new trainer, and I'm going to help you to create an hour's worth of content to showcase you and your business and what you're putting out there so that my team can edit the video, create some shorts for you, and you can use that in your marketing. Because some of us trainers, we get our feet stuck in cement and we don't get that video shot or that content created. So I'm here to help everybody that attended this conference. Maybe Sam, you can send an email out and let everybody know that I want to get one-on-one with them and help them create some unique content, maybe just showcasing yourself so that when someone books a consultation with you to talk about their dog, an eval, you send out this little clip that says, this is who I am, what I do, and how much I want to help you. And you can use that content.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. And after the podcast, we'll get together and figure out the verbiage you want, and I'll get her sent out to the list of all the attendees from last year, because I think that's huge. Anybody that did go to the conference for this year, Professional Canine is getting ready to put in orders for Rufflin Kennels. If you were an attendee at the conference and you still want to get that trainer discount on that, just reach out to me directly and we'll get you your trainer discount for being an attendee at the conference for your Rufflins.
Oh, I'm going to put in an order, Sam.
Well, everybody except for Travis, because he wants to 500 of them and 10 Titans, and I think he wants me to buy him a new van to put him in. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'd like 3 Titans and a steak dinner.
You come back down to Columbus, we can do that steak dinner. But no, yeah, get with me. I got to get Brittany's on order for it too, as soon as we get this next big order going.
I saw some cool new colors.
I appreciate you.
You had a couple of colors there that I wanted. Was there like a lilac?
We did have the lilac. We had a couple of those left before they were out. Right now, Ruffland is offering peach and Merlot. Got to be honest, not a fan of either one. Yeah, but
I'm on this is I want to go to all sage and yellow. That's my jam.
Yeah, so we got to figure out that I don't know if they are going to be bringing that yellow back out this year or not. We're hoping it's going to be the Malibu blue.
I like
that they bring back out pretty soon.
I just like the normal gray white color. I like to be able to just peek in a kennel and see if there's anything disgusting in there, and if it blends too well, then I might miss it.
I like the gray and the tans. I started with those because they're very earth tone and more like a den, but I'm gonna need some more of those yellows before the year closes out, Sam. I need 3 more XLs.
I will look and see if they have them. I think that they are sold out of all their yellows. So I'll have to look and see what they have available, but I'll shoot you a text and let you know.
All right.
But hey, I appreciate your guys' help with the conference, being speakers there. It was great working with both of you. Honestly, we can't do this conference if it isn't for people like you and our speakers who volunteer their time to come in and mentor and help develop that next generation. And I know it's not easy to step away from your business for 3 days to come do this. So we do greatly appreciate everything you do for us.
I just wanted to
I'm
add
so
too.
thankful for you inviting me. Thank you.
Anytime. You're always welcome in Columbus.
I do. Are you going to be at the Pet
We actually,
Expo?
we are going to be at the Pet Expo. Are you coming
Oh,
down
yeah,
for
I'll
it?
be there.
Okay. It'll be fun. If you get a chance, we need to go out and take a look at Mitch's new place that he's just finished
I
up.
know. I think I don't know. I haven't seen every place in Ohio, but that's one of the nicest I've seen in the U.S.
It's impressive from everything I've seen and all the pictures he showed me.
I just wanted to add too that as a sponsor, because I'd reached out to you, Sam, and like, I would like to sponsor this event. I was so taken care of. You found the right sponsorship package that fit for me and my budget and where I wanted to help. And when I got to the seminar, Jessica was there helping me to set up in a spot that was a really good fit for me. I love the spot she put us in. I just felt so appreciated and supported as a sponsor. And I've sponsored other events and, just kind of lost as a vendor. So if anybody out there is considering sponsoring for next year, I highly recommend it because it's a very personal event and you will be taken care of. Sam does an excellent job.
Well, I truly appreciate that, and I really should have went down a whole list of people to help us out, but it's really too many to name. But our two big sponsors this year, obviously, Automation Dogs and Kinetics Food. Without you two being our main sponsors, we wouldn't have had that incredible dinner and all the snacks all weekend. So we greatly appreciate that, and I think that's one of the highlights. It's kind of like going to a wedding. You never remember the vows, but you always remember the reception, right? So that dinner was that highlight for us. Is maybe you took a lot away from the conference, but you're going to remember the great dinner. You and I talked a little bit before we actually started the podcast about as the conference grows, our focus is keeping it on that intimate level. It doesn't matter if there's 50 or 100, 200 people. It's still, we want the conference to be designed around the fact that people can talk. It's a very personal experience, and the settings and the classrooms are intimate. I've been to a lot of conferences, as Travis and probably yourself, where you walk into a classroom and there's 100 people in one classroom, and you really don't get the information you want because you can't ask your question because 50 other people are asking it. So we want to keep those classes small, keep it a very tight, intimate group as we grow, so that we can keep that personal experience going, even if there's 200 or 300 people there.
Well, anything else that you, Travis, or Sam would like to share today?
Uh-huh.
I think we're good. I just greatly appreciate everything you guys have done.
And I will get each of you booked to be on the podcast so we can go through your journey. I'd love to have that one-on-one time and have you share your journey with everybody. So we'll get that set up.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would. I'm right. I'm probably defer since you and I do podcasts. I'll probably have you do one with Jessica or Tom because their journey is much more interesting than mine. My journey just is old.
I would like to interview all of you, and then I'll be reaching out to all the speakers.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it would be great next year too to make sure that I can get some podcasts going with some of the speakers so we can build some relationships and connections for them too.
Yeah, and if we have the bandwidth to do it next year, one of the things I was thinking we'd love to do is potentially throughout the conference is have a small area set up to where we can either do a 10-minute podcast with someone or just do a quick live from the conference. Travis Lloyd's just walking out of a classroom. We got about 5 minutes of live broadcast that we can do, something along that line to really drive home that importance of that networking.
Yeah, your socials were you're still posting. You're still really making sure you share on Facebook with all the speakers' content and things, photos. So yeah, I love it. Lots more content for next year to get the buzz going of how awesome this conference is.
We wouldn't have been able to do that or known even how to do it if there wasn't this great person named Leanne. And she turned us on to this whole social content to make sure that we captured everything so we can continue to post.
Awesome.
So all that really stems from what you really drove home over the weekend to us, is that we have to create that content.
Yeah, and Justin Rigney definitely helps kind of open your eyes to how it can help your business. Excellent.
Absolutely. And I think Travis, if you've seen some of his stuff, he's doing all kinds of great stuff now. I just wish I was as good with the camera as he is.
Man, I don't know about that. I have, like, my whole team is women, so that's the only reason this thing stays afloat.
They're the wind beneath your wings.
They are. They are. It makes life much easier.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Travis, and thank you, Sam. So maybe, Travis, could you share where folks can find you and check out your social content too? Because I know you've got some good stuff.
Sure. I'm Travi Canines on IG, Travis Lloyd on Facebook. You can also check out RS Canine 𝙤𝙤𝙤 on IG or Ridgeside Canine 𝙤𝙤𝙤 on Facebook. Put out a lot of good stuff, trying to get better. I appreciate any new friends or followers we can get.
And Sam, where can folks find you?
They can find Professional Canine at professionalcanine.com. We're also Professional Canine on Facebook and our Instagram. And then the conference is set up on Facebook right now as the Professional Canine Trainer Development Conference. I'm going to keep the year out of it so we can just keep that page rolling, because what we'd like to do is create a page where trainers can come back to after the conference and still see everybody. So we're going to keep that kind of rolling. And then obviously, anybody that wants to share your page, Travis, I think you're on there with us already, but anybody that is a trainer that wants to share their content to the page is absolutely welcome to do so.
Excellent. That's a great offer. Well, thank you both, Sam and Travis, for joining me today. Again, everybody, I'm 𝙤𝙤𝙤 𝙤𝙤𝙤 from Automation Dogs, and thanks so much for listening. If both of you guys could stay on at the end too. Thank you.